And you are watching the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS podcast. Now, I would love to stick around to see everything that's going on, but unfortunately, my custard cream dispenser's on the fritz, and I cannot afford to attract Cybermats. Enjoy the show!
Hey, I'm Sophia Miles, and this is the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS.
That's right, we're staying spooky. Welcome, fellow Whovians, to the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. I am your host, Paparazzo. Ugh, I'm just whacking my other camera over here. Paparazzo, Dave Chapman. Welcome. I'm excited. I am. We've got Rose, because I can't hit buttons properly. We've got the best of Phantasmagoria 2024. We've got some live fun stuff. We've got some recorded fun stuff. And we've got some absolutely fun people. Now, Phantasmagoria has been on the show a few times. They're an amazing group. I've only gotten to see them live, I think, once at MegaCon. I've been to MegaCon twice, but I've only been able to see them once, I think. And so I'll be back there, and I'm hoping to see them again this year. But I've never even made it onto one of these episodes. So I'm extra excited. But not just for that. Because we've also got, at least for some of the show, the amazing return of Mr. Mark Muncy.
Hey, gang. Nice
Speaking
to
of
see you all.
spooky.
Greetings, travelers. How are y'all doing? So
I'm so happy. I love seeing your happy, smiling face. We miss you.
It's been a bit. I'm sorry, guys. I've been a little having some health concerns, and got to take care of the self.
Definitely.
So I'm happy to be on when I can. So I'll be on as long as I can today. So.
Excellent. And of course, we've got the one and only Gadget Pendragon.
Hi guys. What you been up to?
Oh, the usual.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing. Between shows, I had Quidditch. All the usual stuff. I got a production meeting later today, so
not bad. What are our fans been up to? I really want to know too.
Yeah.
We got Mark good.
I'm on the right side of the grass. That's where I'm at. So and hopefully stay in there for a while. So
welcome back. We've missed you so much.
Yeah,
exactly.
Well, you guys too. You guys have been doing some amazing shows, and I am super excited to have Phantasmagoria on. I've worked with them a few times in the past, and they are beyond compare. So
it's true. Another person who's never seen Phantasmagoria, our philosophy is joining us again. Welcome.
Hello.
So glad you were able to make it on today.
Me too. Thank you.
I think you're gonna have a good time. You're gonna enjoy this.
I know I will. I always like coming on here.
And we've got two very special guests. The first is Christian.
Hi.
I'm calling you a special guest because it took you so long to get in. It's like you couldn't possibly be running the show.
I am one of the special guests out here.
Yeah,
ladies and gentlemen, welcome. And I first of all, I do apologize. Let me give you the background over here, and it's kind of interesting that we say best of tonight. What has happened is you probably know that we've had a couple storms that showed up over on the West Coast. And unfortunately, the team over at Phantasmagoria works in that area. And John Diaz, he's going to kill me if I get it wrong. How about the Lord Byron? Had been talking ever since then. And unfortunately, Phantasmagoria not only had to move their schedules around, move their rehearsals around, but I believe, and I'll let Lord Byron mention that they took damage. So tonight, in the last couple of months, they're not rehearsing, they're performing. If they're not performing, they're rehearsing. And even tonight, I think they're either rehearsing or just taking a break at this moment. But they've just been working their butts off. And Lord Byron has been so kind to try to bring the troupe in. And unfortunately, they just can't. They're trying to rest up or they're rehearsing tonight, and they're trying to get on with the shows that had been pushed for weeks out because of those two hurricanes, including Milton, which did significant damage in that area. So we're very happy to have Lord Byron on tonight, and he will be doing something. But I know, and we'll make the announcement tonight, we have a bigger audience than we've actually normally have. We'll talk about that tonight. But I know for a fact that those people have probably not seen or know of Phantasmagoria. And before we introduce Lord Byron, let's give a little example or an explanation to what Phantasmagoria is. Here it comes.
From out the cloud of ancient lore, born in dark, forgotten times, these wanderers swept o'er the land, athwart valley and mountain climbs.
From far and wide they gathered strong, not knowing whence they came.
They sought another from out the throng, a troop born through their glory fame.
Phantasmagoria! They soon were known. The centuries soared through swift.
Within each nation their seed was grown.
The stories were their gift. The tales they told brought fear to all, conjuring beasts from hell-born doom.
The fates and muses who sound their call brought life to the weaver's loom.
Until the day when worlds are torn,
and demons gather nigh. For of the stories they are born,
and of the stories
they shall die.
They shall die. 'Cause 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 'cause
Shall die.
Who are those people? They look so interesting to me.
They look
fascinated.
disturbed.
Hello, everybody, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and all the diversity of our distinguished guests. I am Byron from Phantasmagoria, and it's a pleasure to be here with all of the TARDIS people here tonight. I'm told by Christian Basil that I'm going to do something. I think that was the
what I'm going to tell you.
That's about right for Christian, yeah.
Well, we wanted to, since we couldn't have the team out here, they're taking a break, right?
Well, so it's been a kind of a crazy fall because of everything that's happened. You know, our rehearsals for the main stage show were impacted greatly by the first hurricane that came through.
Right.
And then we were able to get on stage for the second. After that, we were able to get back on stage and start the tour. And then in the middle of the tour, all of a sudden another was coming along its way. Thankfully, there was no damage to anything that we personally had. But however, our venues were greatly impacted. We had to cancel an evening of performances at the Dr. Phillips Center for the Performing Arts because all of Orlando was closed down. We didn't know if we were even going to do a show that entire weekend. The beautiful, beautiful Athens Theater in DeLand had significant damage.
So
significant. And they, Zeus bless them, they were able to get back up within days. A week later, they already had shows going on in the space. You know, it's still impacted, but they really, really covered themselves so well. Tampa was the most frightening one because we were supposed to perform in Tampa, and literally the zone that was supposed to no longer be was where the Tampa Theater is, which is this gorgeous 100-year-old historical theater. Good evening, Nico. This gorgeous space. And we literally were terrified that the building would not be there when we had to go on tour there. Yes, you do. I would love that. And I'm speaking to people talking to messages here.
Something you get used to after a while.
But the beautiful thing is that Tampa was skirted more than it thought it was going to be. There was not any significant damage at the Tampa Theater. They had employees sleeping there overnight to make sure everything was okay, you know, because a lot of people don't realize that the dressing rooms are underneath the street.
Yeah, under sea level.
Oh my gosh.
I was so concerned about the organ.
My God.
That was...
Yeah, Mark is referring to this beautiful, beautiful organ that's existed since the silent film era that is in the basement. Yeah.
It rises up to the stage, and they still perform silent films. They do for every Halloween. They play like Phantom of the Opera and some of the classic Lon Chaney's, and they have a organist play live accompaniment, just like...
You are depressing me for being so far away. Just saying.
I know,
I'm now very sad.
That theater is amazing. And one of the most haunted buildings in the world. So.
Blame Canada!
Mark's area was even more impacted. I mean, Mark is up there in North Carolina.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun up here too. So we're still digging out in places, and we're still the Cajun Navy is still up here helping people with supplies and stuff. I don't know if you're familiar with them, but a lot of my Bigfoot hunting friends are auxiliary members of this. It's basically a loose affiliation of guys with good boats and good trucks, and they help out in emergencies, and they're incredible, and they've helped from every hurricane down that way, and now they're all up here in the mountains helping out.
My gosh. Great. Yeah, so luckily we were only impacted for a short time, but right now, you know, we close our Halloween tour one day, and literally this year 2 days later, we started rehearsing for our Christmas tour. And at the same time that we're doing all that, Christian and everyone, we have shows opening on a river ship because we've been performing shows on the river ship the whole time. So we're slammed. We're busy. Oh, the river ship couldn't go out for weeks. Obviously, that was greatly impacted. They had to bring it up, river to protect it. No damage, no nothing, but Sanford, the river walk, we were flooded for weeks. But thankfully, everything is returning to somewhat normal right now, thankfully.
I just got to worry about snow up here. You guys got it bad.
I would love snow. Do you know how many years it's been since I've seen snow?
You don't want it. It's beautiful, but you don't want it.
Come on up here to the mountains. We've got just enough.
Forget his mountains. Forget his mountains. You come up to my mountains. I got theaters galore that I can set you up in.
We're like the
Are these
span
in
of
your-
2 countries right
Yeah,
now. That's amazing.
the beautiful for me was I had hurricanes and snow. So there we go.
Wow.
And just in case for folks who are not familiar, and I think I pulled up the right picture, Lord Byron, I think that's the boat.
Yes, that's the boat
That is
we're on.
the boat.
Oh, wonderful.
cool.
They
Paddle
do.
wheeler.
I got to
It
come
is-
out and see that.
It is a gorgeous boat. We spent the whole summer doing something very un-Phantasmagoria. We were doing a kind of comedy immersive wedding on it, something similar to like Tony and Tina's wedding, except it's an original show that was written for them. And then we spent all of October doing Phantasmagoria ghost cruises, where we were weaving ghost stories on the boat.
Interesting.
And now we're about to, not this week, but next week, we open
Oh,
our
God.
kind of holiday variety shows, is the best way of saying it. We have belly dancers, LED dancers, singers, musicians, storytellers, doing kind of a fun Yuletide on the riverside, is what they're calling it. So that will be fun.
Is that along the St. John's, or what river does it go?
It's on the St. John's. You got it.
Well, we've got to talk Pinky, the St. John's River monster.
Oh, yes. Oh, I know, Pinky. Yes, we need.
Wait.
Mark provides stories that we do in our shows, and we have done Mark's stories out there in the public and stuff like that.
I'm not all caught up. I'm like still trying to catch up to all his fun stuff and everything.
That's an amazing river there. So
yeah, it is. Oh, it's gorgeous.
We have the Lake Ronkonkoma, the Indian princess that killed herself and everything. So what is going on with Pinky? I'm not caught up there. That's what
Pinky is Florida's Nessie. He's albino, so he's pink. And and Florida can't have nice things. They changed the name of everything to something stupid. So we have Bigfoot, Sasquatch. Florida, it's the skunk ape.
Yep.
It's so for
I thought it was just Florida, man.
Instead of the St. John's River monster, we have Pinky. So,
These two do. I'll let these two do the talking. There we go.
They're actually like this. Wait, they're like this. There we go. They're like this to me. They're like I got one here and one down here.
Mark and I have a spiritual history that go back even before we met, because I used to work with Charlie Carlson, who was kind of in the same thing that Mark does. He was a weaver of folk tales and folklore, and a lot of bullshit too. But, and then it was kind of wonderful. Charlie used to write shows with me years ago, and it was kind of wonderful when at a festival I just kind of met actually Carrie first. I met Mark's wife, and I was fascinated by the books and the illustrations, and then I bought all of them. See that, Mark? I probably got you dinner at one night.
Yeah, I think you probably did.
And then Mark and I were able to start teaming up and start doing some of the stories, because it's works from literature are wonderful, but folklore and legend and regional works, that's just so much better. I love.
They need to teach that in schools. They need to bring back folklore to schools, because I would have loved a class on that and everything.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, folklore tells the truth of an area, and Mark is like me, because we've talked at some of the events. I'm going to plug you, Mark, and then I'll let you talk for yourself.
Oh, that's great. Glad to be here. I'm just enjoying this. This is great.
What is the actual source of a legend? Like, where did it come from? What's the actual historical thing? And like when we do works of literature, like horror stories, we search for what was the real world thing? What inspired this? What was happening sociologically, economically, politically in the country at the time? For example, we're doing the Canterville Ghost right now as part of our Christmas stories.
Oh, I love that story.
Yeah, it's known as a lovely little charming humorous ghost story, and actually it is a skewering of the differences between British society and American society that Oscar Wilde did. So all of these tales have a rich history, and folklore is important because, like I said, it tells the history right where you are. When you're telling the story of Maggie Bell in that lived off of Lake Monroe, you're telling the story of that area. When you're telling the story of Pinky, you're right, that's an awful name. When you're telling the story of Pinky, you are talking about Sanford history. You're talking about Lake Monroe history, St. John's River. It's incredible to do folklore. And now, as a handoff to you, Mark.
All right. So my question is then, you've performed in all these amazing places, St. Louis and all over America.
Mm-hmm.
What has been the most iconic place for you all to perform that you feel? I mean, have you had? I of course want to know from like a supernatural, paranormal side, but also historical side. So.
Absolutely. Well, I could tell you that St. Louis was wonderful because it was really interesting. It was an area I did not know. I did not know the local legends. I did not know any of the history of the place. So all of a sudden, this was this wonderful opportunity to start learning all of that. And we actually have one of our members in St. Louis who's still part of us, even though we don't perform in St. Louis anymore. Pandemic. She's still part. In fact, she'll be down here. She'll be flying down to do MegaCon with us. And she just spent a whole month with us. She hosted the shows on the river ship. But she introduced me to all, the Lemp Mansion and all the legends and the Extra House and all those wonderful things. So that was, to me, that was fascinating. Learning about where you live is great and wonderful, but learning about different areas. And now we're looking at dates to do, fingers crossed, a convention in probably my favorite city of all time, and that's Savannah, Georgia. Yeah. And I already know all the history of Savannah and all the legends. So that will probably likely be and Mark, you and I will be chatting, obviously.
I will send you my notes.
Yeah, I mean, Mark, I think we had one of your stories on the in the Rivership show. We did your version because we always love to credit. We always say, here's the legend of the Castillo de San Marco, and this is the one told by Mark and Carrie.
Hey!
Yeah, because he has a very wonderful take on it that differs slightly from some of the others.
I try to go back to original sources and as best I can, because these stories morph over time as well, as you know. It's and then sometimes, like you said, when we find out the origin, sometimes the origin is so much worse than the scary story to warn you about it.
Absolutely.
And that's part of the fun. So, all right. Well, then my next question then is how did this all get started?
You mean
Phantasmagoria?
The internet? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You were talking
The internet.
All right. First, the dinosaurs came, but they all got too big and fat.
I love the airplane.
Much fun tonight. I'm kind of glad the rest of the troop's not here. I'm just having a blast. Mark, we started probably, I think it was probably about 9 years before you and I met. It was for about 20 years, not even joking. For about 20 years, I wanted to have something that was similar to a horror circus. So, I would talk to collaborators, and Ben Rock, who is one of the Blair Witch designers, and he was the art director for the Blair Witch Project. We would talk often like, what would a horror circus look like?
Seriously.
What could we do? And that's one of our members there. That was at Spooky Empire a number of years
Yes, it
ago.
was.
Yeah, we did a custom haunted house for Spooky. So we get these ideas and then they would disappear, and we get these ideas and it wasn't going to work. We try a little something and then it never became a full-fledged thing. But it never left me. And then I was up in Atlanta, Georgia, actually, because I used to go up there to teach and direct and do stuff every summer. And I saw a show. I saw, of all things, a puppet show, but a puppet show with music and live performance and projections and dance. And it was doing this really depressing William Faulkner novel, right? And it was being told in such, As I Lay Dying, I think was the name of it. So that gives you an idea.
Fantastic.
But it gave me the idea of that, I'm thinking in this box and I should be thinking outside the box. And so I literally called my collaborators in Florida from this hotel room in Georgia going, I have an idea. We're doing a show this coming October. What's it going to be, John? I don't know. But I'm going to write it, in this hotel room right now. And I did. I wrote all of Phantasmagoria 1. It was only Phantasmagoria then, Mark, because there was not going to be a 2. It was going to be this one show. And I wrote it in this hotel room and cast it. We didn't have auditions. We just cast people we loved working with, right? Our collaborators. Came down. We all rehearsed it separately. So the dancers were rehearsing separately with music that was being written for them. And the storytellers were kind of discovering what this was going to be. And the costume designer was... We all kind of worked separately. And then in those last weeks, we all came together and went, oh, this is something special. This is really working. And then we opened the show and it was this huge hit. Yes, it was. Yeah. Yes. In fact, I'm responding to the Blair Witch Project thing. Yeah,
Blair Witch
Ben
Project.
Rock.
And Charlie Carlson was one of the, he was the one, he was doing the story of the Hog Island Witch, which takes place in Brooksville, or just north of Brooksville. And that's what they transferred because they couldn't get the rights to film at Hog Island. So they filmed in Burkittsville,
He
Maryland.
played Professor Morehouse in the documentary.
Yeah, the
version.
Curse of Blair Witch.
Yeah, and he was harassed because people thought it was real, and they would,
Yes.
contact him and stop him and say, "What happened to those kids?" Yeah, no, Blair Witch Project. So Ben Rock and all of his associates. I mean, there's a whole group of them that are absolutely, Daniel Myrick, all these people.
Dan's a good friend. Yeah.
Yeah, they were rich here in the Central Florida community. In fact, I always like to joke that I used to do these fashion shows with a woman named Jodie Thomas, and Ben would come to film every single one of them on the actual Blair Witch camera because he owned it.
Yep.
So he, no one knew this was going to be a big film. No one knew this was going to be this thing, but anyway, digressing back to this. No, I'm glad you did. This is what
Money trailed from the audience. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, audience. There.
Well, let me add something to this because I thought this was funny. The woman in there who plays Heather.
Yes.
There's a hidden gem because The Blair Witch was one of those films that just hit at the right time and used everything at the right space because of the technology of the internet, and they made it feel like it was real. Well,
yes.
Just a couple of days before The Blair Witch premiered, Heather shows up on Conan. So you think that would have given it away?
And we got some flack for that because they were ordered not to. They were ordered not to do any press and all this stuff. And that's one of the reasons why they're actually suing to Artisan and to get the.
Oh, there's a big lawsuit.
Yes, oh man, and they're finally doing conventions and getting some love. Just talked to Heather at Scarefest in Lexington a couple weeks ago, and we were talking about Charlie didn't get any money for providing the story and providing all the things because again, it was a student project. It was just going to be for fun, and
I think Charlie loved the notoriety though. That's
what he wrote that. He wrote that till the end.
Yes, he did.
We love Charlie.
For those of you who don't know, Charlie did pass away a number of years ago. But if you've ever heard of, and I'm not going to make any judgment or commentary about this, if you've ever heard of the I-4 Dead Zone, you have Charlie Carlson to thank.
You have Charlie to thank. If you watch that documentary or anything, that's another one of those things that we think because he made it up, it might have become real.
Yes, exactly. See, I was trying not to say that, but Mark Muncy outed it.
No, we have a term we use on my show, Eerie Travels, which is available on podcast platforms and YouTube everywhere. But since I know my time is limited, one of the things is we call tulpas, which is where enough energy is put into something, it creates it. And it becomes a thing. They actually did a scientific study on it where a bunch of students, they made a ghost. It's called the Philip experiment, and it's something you should look into. But we think the I-4 Dead Zone has become something because Charlie put all that energy into it. So
and people reacting to it, and think about that, like the communal energy, that happens. Salem, right? Everybody, thought something was actually happening. And then it becomes real, Mark, when that happens. So no, I don't disagree. But anyway, so wow, I have so many parentheticals to go back through now.
Give us all the parentheticals, all the parenthetical citations.
So with Phantasmagoria, it's spelled correctly. Yes, with Phantasmagoria, we
copied that.
and people kept asking us, so what are you going to do next year? And we were like, we weren't planning anything. So we all got together and said, should we do this next year too? And everybody said, oh my God, yes. Like the whole cast was very excited about it. And then I said, well, if we're going to do it again, we have to write a whole new Phantasmagoria. And that's what started it. By the third year, we were being invited to do conventions and appearances. By the fourth year, we extended from just Halloween to doing kind of like little things throughout the year. By the time we hit, I think, year 8 or so, we were probably working 200 days out of the year, doing shows and appearances and events and all kinds of things. We toured to, Baltimore and all different places. It was, so it's just been expanding, and we still have members of the troupe that have been there all 15 years, which is, and not just in front of the scenes, but behind the scenes too.
Jesus, so John, I need to give you my TARDIS if you're going all over the place. Like
yes.
I get out of Florida.
And next year we may very well be doing that again because we have we'll tease it later, but we have a very special show coming up next year for our 16th year. And we're already talking to people out of state about touring that particular show to them. So fingers crossed. We're collaborating with a very famous author, artist. I'm not really going to say what it is now. I'm going to tease it. And the person has passed away, but we're working with their estate and their trust right now to actually create an entire retrospective show of the person's work. This will be the first time we've ever done something with a contemporary author. The beautiful thing is the author writes in the Victorian style. So it fits us really nicely.
Very
And
nice.
So,
Very nice.
so yeah. And for me personally, Christian and I were kind of talking about this. For me personally, it's, childhood dream come true, because this is somebody I followed when I was like 7 years old. And so if this actually happens, which, lawyers, it seems to be happening. We've had so many meetings with the representatives and, proposals and, all these different kinds of, like, how is it going to be billed, and what's the licensing, and what happens after the show
Everyone's trying to
closes.
guess.
Yeah. But if it happens, we will be traveling out of state a lot, Mark. We'll probably go to St. Louis, probably go to Syracuse, because we're doing shows in Syracuse now, but it's not us. We'll probably go to Syracuse and lots of other places. Yeah. So I'll keep you filled in on that. And I'm going to shut up now because I'm talking a lot.
No, that's why you're here.
That's a good sign.
I'm sorry.
Mark has asked all the good questions. I'm going through my list of questions. Like, Mark's already got it. Mark's already got it.
Sorry.
The best shows are the ones where we just kind of sit back and just go, okay, and go.
Yep.
So you guys, are we going through an order and asking various questions? I know I probably should have asked you guys that beforehand, but is that what this is such an interesting guest. I'm just like brimming with questions.
Ask away. Ask away.
John,
Go, because all mine are getting checked off right now.
Every episode we have a plan, and it never goes.
That's the best show. No plan.
Exactly. Well, I do have videos that I would like to show and demonstrate for the folks but Sean, ask your question.
Yes.
You have a commercial break coming up. I wanted to hit that.
Cool. Yeah, I had a couple questions actually. The first one I had is just about sort of the landscape of the venues where you're performing, because you guys know we live in a very diverse world, and for every person that is a virulent believer in ghosts and the supernatural and that kind of thing and hauntings, there's usually another person who does not believe in those things. But I find that typically people who don't personally hold a belief in ghosts or anything, sometimes those people are even more willing to engage because they're not as frightened by it. And I find that horror kind of brings people together in that way. So, like, does that ever come into your performing? Do people ever come up and say, hey, I really believe this stuff? Or do some people say, hey, I don't, but I still like to have fun and participate? Like, does that ever come up?
Oh God, yes, all the time. So we have a pretty diverse, Sean, our philosophy. Sean, we have a pretty diverse audience. I mean, our demographics go from like 6 years old to like, in the 80s, and I'm not even kidding. I'm being very literal when I say that. So we definitely appeal to a wide range of audience tastes. You're going to come to one of our shows, you're going to see a very horrific story, and then you're going to see a hilarious ghost story. This past year, I really was very happy because we had an intention with our show, Grim and Grimmer Tales, of bringing to the audience to an extremely emotional place. And on starting with opening night, and I never stopped getting the messages, people saying, I've been following you guys for years, and tonight you made me do something I never thought I would do. I cried hysterically all the way home. And that's what we were going for. We were going for a very poignant kind of a thing with a story written by Eric Keevan, our writer from Seattle. But in terms of ghost stories, when we do those shows that have the ghost
tarot cards right now.
When folklore, like when we're with Mark or when we're with Bill Slevin or when we're invited like to at museums, because we do that a lot too. We do those kinds of stories. We can't get out of there afterwards because the audience wants to come up and share their stories.
Okay, I see.
And that's what's beautiful about it, That's so community, Mark, right? Folklore is community. Stories are community. And you said it yourself. You talked about how horror brings people together. It really does. If somebody's terrified of things, they still want to hear a horror story. If somebody loves them, they still want to hear it. If somebody doesn't believe, they still want to hear it. It's this like universal thing that's in our bodies and our minds and our hearts. And it's fascinating. So yes, we get rich stories from people. We get rich experiences. We get people who contact us by email saying, hey, could we tell you this thing happened to my grandmother, or that kind of a thing. And it's just wonderful to share that energy with people. Absolutely. That was an amazing question. Thank you.
Oh, and that does kind of confirm, because I've always thought whether people are driving the Ghostbusters van or driving the Mystery Machine, like everybody likes a good ghost story. You know what I mean? So
absolutely.
My only other question, and do I have time for one more question before I break?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
And then we'll go for a break.
Cool. My question was, as far as time period that you are pulling things from, it sounds like it's very diverse, but do you have a time period of folklore or written works that you're pulling from more? And do you have a personal favorite period of time to pull from?
Well, we bill ourselves as a Victorian horror troupe. So a lot of what we do is from that kind of time period. I would say Victorian, pre-Victorian, slipping into a little bit of the Edwardian.
Nice.
I mean, I could just generally say the 1800s, right now.
Nice.
That's the majority of what we do. Now, we have gone back to stories from 1200. We told a vampire story once that was in a history of England in 1200. We have told Bible stories. Because like when we did the story of the Gargouille, we brought in quotes from the Bible, from Leviathan and all this different stuff. We've told Islamic stories, so we pretty much try to create the diversity of stories. So while we live in the 1800s and the mythology of Phantasmagoria, which you kind of heard in the ballad, we're supposed to be the original Greek storytellers. We are the ones who were born centuries ago. And the mythology, which we don't, share a lot with our audiences, but what backs us up is that Cyril, he was our first ringmaster. Cyril was born, Cyril grew, Cyril had parents, Cyril got married, Cyril had children. As time went on, Cyril watched his parents die. Then Cyril watched his wife grow old and die. Then Cyril watched his children grow old and die, but Cyril was not growing old. And he didn't know why. He didn't know what this was. He wasn't supernatural. He just wasn't aging. And he went through centuries before he met this man named Byron, whose real name is not Byron. It's actually a Greek name, but I will not share it with you. He met him. Yeah, there you go. He met him and realized they were of the same race. They were not supernatural, but there was an immortality with them. And it's because they're tasked with telling the stories, being the warehouse of the stories. And if there were two, there were more. So Byron and Cyril went in search and are still constantly finding new storytellers who have been missing and who are hidden somewhere. So that's the theory. But in terms of our aesthetic, in terms of how we are, we joke that, right back there at the city Dionysia in Greek times, this is how we looked, and everybody thought we were very strange back then too. But that is so we live kind of the Victorian era. If we had to pivot around somebody, it would of course be Edgar Allan Poe and the likes.
Very nice. That's my man right there.
Yeah.
Victorian era is awesome, but I'm glad you guys are pulling from all different. I mean, because that stuff really does go really far back. Thanks for that answer. That's amazing.
Of course. Thank you so much. Excellent.
All right. Well, we've had a plan, and I have no idea what's going on.
It's commercials, Kristen.
I love this.
This is more fun.
I want to give Phantasmagoria, their dignity. I want to show them, a couple of videos for folks who may not be out there, who may not be familiar with Phantasmagoria. And you know what, Dave, let's go to commercial break because we're long overdue for that. When we return, we're going to continue our discussion with Lord Byron and Phantasmagoria. Please have your questions in the chat as well.
And Mark Muncy, yes.
Cheers to that.
That goes with it. That goes without saying. Be right back.
We are a touring acoustic duo crashing kitchens around the country. We go from house to house every Friday night and we create music, we create food, a good time, we stream it live and we do it for free. So now we're just really kind of like trying to develop it and build a community group that people believe in, then they'll help us. So we played from our rehearsal room. We played from the bathroom. Thankfully, that didn't catch on.
I probably played guitar in my room, not for anyone, in front of anyone, nobody heard, for probably about 10 years.
And then one Friday night, we played from the kitchen. It's the main place people want to be. It's where the food is, it's where the drink is, it's where the best lighting is. You can go to any party and I guarantee you, the kitchen is going to be popping.
Our ultimate goal, I think, would be to crash kitchens every Friday all around the world.
Are you a movie nerd? Do you collect VHS, DVDs, CDs, records, and so much more? Are you looking for clothing from 1940s to 2000s? Do you need cosplay or themed outfits? Come to Ducky's Vintage. We have it all for all budgets, located at the Oviedo Mall right off of the 417. Ducky's Vintage for those born in the wrong decade.
I'm Eric Roberts, and this is a legend of the Traveling TARDIS.
Yes, it is.
And
the
welcome
legend
back,
of the Traveling TARDIS.
And welcome back to the legend of the Traveling TARDIS. We just want to let folks know that this can be a very stressful time of year. And we know it too well as we enter into the holiday season. And you get stressed out, we know, just, get a drink of water, get some food, take a deep breath, whatever you need. But if it gets too much for you out there, we please ask you that you get help out there. If you need help in the USA or Canada, you can text, call 988 at any given time, 24 hours a day. It's a free service. And our friends in the UK, you just dial 116123 or Samaritans.org. So again, if it becomes too stressful and you can't handle it, call somebody. If not these guys, call a family member, call a friend, call someone, because it's important to us that you be around for as long as you can, be part of the legend. And we are so thankful that you're part of the Whoniverse out here. So please, whatever you do this holiday season, relax. Don't make it as stressful as it doesn't necessarily have to be, but if it does, you got some friends here at the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. I definitely could probably speak for Lord Byron and Phantasmagoria, and the folks down here will be more than happy to assist you out there. And again, that's free service 24/7 if you need it. Welcome back to the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. My name is Christian Basil. That is Dave. No, that is Dave.
Hi.
That's Mark. That's Sean. That's Gadget. And that is Lord Byron, our special guest here for Phantasmagoria. I want to give a big shout out and a big thanks to our friends over at Maker's Fair. Lord Byron, have you ever been to Maker's Fair?
I have not. I've wanted to. A lot of our members do. Callum goes all the time.
It's just amazing. I wish they had something like this when I was growing up, because kids actually, this is where they get into, I don't know if STEM is the right word, but this is the field and the convention where they learn tech, robots. They could learn how to solder. It was just cool. And we are now in a joint venture with the Daleks of Florida. So we were very happy to see them out there. And you're going to see us together at MegaCon again. And there's the Traveling TARDIS that smells small but mighty. And they had, there was a line for this. There was a line for Toothless. People were, because the head actually moved. So you could actually see Toothless in just the head portion of it, but the mechanics of it were really well. And of course, there's always a battle between the Southern Builders, R2D2s, and the Daleks. They have it, and you can actually see short videos that'll be coming up of their adventures together, whether they like it or not. But one of our favorite pictures is definitely this one right here. And I'm just warning you right now, Disney Plus, warning you right now, if you do not give them a spinoff, the Daleks are looking somewhere else. They want their spinoff. Believe it or not, guys, and Mark, you could probably appreciate this. When somebody comes up with an obscure cosplay, and Maker's Fair is not like MegaCon or Space Coast or Tampa Bay Comic-Con, because it's more of like hands-on robotics here. But when somebody comes up and does an obscure cosplay.
Wow.
And she was lit because she came by us. She goes, "You know who I am?" And I said, "Yeah, you're Dodo."
Oh my gosh. Yeah,
And
that's
she
I have
just
not
went,
seen a
"What?"
no.
And I was like, I'm surprised anybody dressed up like Dodo. So I was happy to see representation
gosh,
right
was
there from
second
the past.
doctor, third doctor, second and third. Yeah, that's crazy.
Second Doctor, I think.
Yeah, second
Yeah,
doctor.
second Doctor.
Wow.
And of course,
amazing.
there was a gentleman who was out there.
Hey,
Nice.
Eccleston. Love it.
Now, I also want folks to know that starting December 1st, we're going to be doing the 25 days of hummus. And you're going to see pictures.
You're gonna
of-
put the picture of Santa that I gave you?
I will see. I will see.
Okay.
Out there. This is it's still two of my favorite pictures of.
I love that one.
But the one that really lit up came from Halt Mats, and this woman never heard about the traveling TARDIS, and I asked her, "Can I get your picture?" And what came of it was probably one of the best pictures I've ever seen.
I love that. Yeah.
Sonicking the tree out there.
That's gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I also want people to know that if you're going to want to see Phantasmagoria, they're in the area right now, and I highly recommend it. You got to do it. You got to do it every single year. But this year, you can check them out over in Ocala and go to their website. I'll put it up on the screen again. They're going to be in Ocala December the 8th, Leesburg December 13th and 14th, Sanford. And the theater's okay, right? I mean, you guys can still perform out there.
Yeah, Sanford's fine. Yeah.
Orlando at the Dr. Phillips Center?
Yes, Dr. Phillips.
Okay, on the 20th and 21st, and on D-Land the 22nd. And I'm sorry, let me go ahead and pull down that banner so people can, boom. There you go. PhantasmagoriaOrlando.com. I'll put it in the chat so you guys can copy and paste it. But God, I remember one night, I don't have the pictures here. I don't know where. Well, no, there's one.
Yeah, that was at one of our shows. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I got to watch one of your shows. This was the Sanford one.
Yep, that's Christmas, I believe it was.
Yes.
Yes.
This was gorgeous. I mean, God, I was just, everybody who was sitting around me was like involved. I was like learning this. Now, Lord Byron.
Poinsettias in his hat.
The reason why that I brought you on here to show the best stuff so people understood. Could you guess how many people have hit the subscribe button on YouTube?
For you?
Take it.
42 million, isn't it?
I wish.
That would be my number. No, but I mean, you guys are so popular, so I don't know.
I don't know about that. Well, it does start with a 4.
Oh my God!
Wow. Yep.
That is amazing.
Fantabulous.
40,000 of you really thought that we were worth hitting that one little button subscribing. So and we have people watching in the thousands every single day, between 1,000 and 4,000 people watching a video, a short, just having some fun out there watching videos like this. And you can check out previous Phantasmagoria episodes out here. Please do. Thank you so much. But also check out Phantasmagoria themselves. Welcome back to the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS.
If we're smart, we'll go into the YouTube video of this later and put a card up there.
Yes.
Here's another
amazing. That's an achievement, brother.
Well, this is effort. That's our current count right now, as in real time.
This is great. This is a big jump from
That's amazing. When you guys,
I remember us freaking out when we hit 5,000. So.
Yeah. I remember freaking out when we hit 5. So I'm just
that's amazing. When you said it started with a 4, I was afraid it was 4. So I'm glad.
Yeah, we're down to 4 again.
That's
I was doing okay until I came on that one day, and then I'd make it.
If every one of you at home gets one person to subscribe, that will double it. And if you can get 2 people to subscribe, if we can hit 100,000 people before the end of the year, I'll find a giant prize. I don't care what it is.
Or even share the videos on social media, LinkedIn, everywhere. Just share the videos and everything. We'll get followers that way too, who seem to love the TARDIS.
I'll mail Christian to you.
Yeah, make my prophecy come true. We want 40 million.
I already seen Lord Byron's house. It's awesome. And poke holes in it this time, for Christ's sake. I'm just going
fine
somewhere.
Well,
Canadian
we'll talk about the fact that you used to be able to order monkeys from the back of comic books in the 50s. we'll tell that story another day. So.
I think we need to bring Lord Byron back for a good fun show. Just a fun show.
What was
this? I'm having fun right now.
No, meaning one where we could do all the haunted stories and all the other fun stuff.
Oh yes, oh yes, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you know, I love doing those. We've written, I think, like 3 or 4, maybe more, custom shows for TARDIS, where we've, you know, I don't have a big history with Doctor Who. I've learned about Doctor Who from Christian, from my fellow members, and it's been wonderful to kind of go back through archives of Doctor Who episodes and learn about it, and into, because every story we've done with for the TARDIS, we've integrated the Doctor into. Very specific to the current Doctor who's there, and it's been really a wonderful experience, learning experience for me, learning all about Doctor Who, and that's something else that TARDIS has given me as a gift. It's wonderful.
Who would have been your first Doctor to your last Doctor? Like, how would you rate them all?
You mean in terms of the visits that we've had with you?
With the show, well, meaning the show, like the Doctor Who, like who was your first one that got you really hooked?
So Matt and David, well, you know, my favorite so far, but Peter Cushing.
I think everybody
Doctor Who, because when I started, like, what is this Doctor Who thing? I looked up Peter Cushing because he has a huge influence on the Phantasmagoria, the Hammer horror films. I mean, just kind of look at them.
Yes.
So the Peter Cushing was and always is my favorite. But when I really started watching, and don't ask me numbers or names because I don't know them, but it was the female Doctor, where I started really just watching like every week, and I was like, I like this. I really enjoy this, and that's why I think that's why we did our Christmas show, where we gave her the gift as she was leaving, because I really enjoyed her. Yeah, very much. So thank you. That's a great question. Thank you.
Got a question for you, Lord Byron.
Yeah.
Do you believe in ghosts? And when was the moment that you started believing, if you do?
So, look around my house.
You just have a great fashion sense. That doesn't tell me anything.
Christian's been to my house. Mark, you've never been here, have you?
I never got a chance. We'll have to head down to Sanford one day. So, but I know the story of the house very well.
Yeah, we live in a historically haunted house.
Of course.
And her name is Minerva. Although she went by Murdy. In fact, her gravestone says Murdy. We visit it once a year on either Christmas Day or New Year's Day. I have believed in ghosts since I was probably 6 years old. You know, I'm sure as a child you believe in ghosts, right? But in terms of believing in ghosts, it was when I was 6 years old, when I was asleep or falling asleep in my grandmother's house in Brooklyn. Because, I'm from Brooklyn. This is all bullshit. So I was in
Facebook. He said something.
Bronx in the house.
YouTube, please. He said something else.
Yes. Are you not allowed to say that on YouTube?
I don't know anymore. We try to keep it kid friendly.
We're over 18 show, so I don't understand what they're talking about. I'm Bronx in the house, so I understand the lingo.
With the poopy, I was doing. I was on the couch and I was, kind of waking up, and I looked up and there was someone standing there smoking a cigarette. Now, the reason I know it was a cigarette is because it was this gray flatness to this object, this person, and it was definitely male. It was a male silhouette, and it raised the cigarette to the mouth, and it glowed red and then disappeared. And of course, I screamed and freaked out, and went running around. And
that was your relative.
Yeah, it was my grandfather more than likely. Yeah, it was.
It was your relative.
Yeah,
I'm actually psychic empath and everything, so it was your relative.
Yeah, they say, and I love that because that reinforces. It reinforces. My grandfather died 3 days before I was born. I never met him. They say when I was a baby, I used to crawl to his chair and laugh at his feet, even though there was nobody there. So I've always had a rich history of believing in it. I've never doubted it. I don't know what it is, but I've never doubted it. And I've had the fortune of, by accident, this was not on purpose. We did not find out our house had a presence until after we purchased it. Or actually, I should say, as we purchased it, because as we were purchasing it, we became very close to the former owners. He was very glad that somebody who loved the house was taking it. And I asked him before we went to do the signing, I said, is there anything you want to tell us about the house? And he mistook me. He said, oh, we've done all the disclosures. And I said, no. Is there anything you want to tell us? And he said, yeah. And he told us the story of the lady on the stairs that dated back to the 50s. And he gave us his experiences, and he didn't believe, but he gave us his experiences. And then literally within a week of having the house, Murdy made herself known.
You know, there's a child presence too there as well.
You know, we have been told that. So that's
there is. She's actually one of the dolls right now. She likes being near you.
And so here's the thing. We love having them here. We've never been frightened of it. You know, Murdy has scared me once only. I yelled at her. I told her never to do that in that way again, which then caused the biggest manifestation I've ever seen of Murdy, because there was a half open door and she banged on it. And it was a surprise. It was in the middle of the night. I was awake. It was in the middle of the night. I got very frightened when she did that. And I jumped up, sat up in bed, and I started yelling at Murdy not to do that. You know, we told you you're fine here. We love you, but please don't do that. So she closed the door, which was more terrifying than the fact.
She said sorry. No, she's saying sorry, but she had to do that to you.
I'm gonna go, you know.
No, she did. She did that on purpose. I'm laughing right now. She did that on purpose.
Probably did.
No, she did. She did that on purpose.
She has appeared to full houses of people. Like we had, like down here, I'm in my foyer right now, and we had a whole group of actors here who had been rehearsing a show, and one of them was talking about Murdy, and a bunch of them were like, "There's no such thing as ghosts," and what are you talking about? And blah 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 blah. And all of a sudden, she opened the door at the top of the stairs. And the person who was saying that, I swear to God, it must have been 20 times, kept walking up and down this hallway. I'm sitting and going, no, because he was confronted with something actually happening that had no explanation. So yes. So to answer the question, I believe there are ghosts. I also believe there are charlatans.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I believe there are people who make it up, and I believe that there are people who are very sincere and who not only sense the energy, but like you just said about the girl, bring the energy to them.
She's adorable. She loves that. It's that doll next to the candle there with the pink dress.
Yes.
That doll. She likes that doll.
Okay, so let me tell you something about that doll. This doll I've been entranced with for years. She was in it's vintage, but it's not that old. I mean, I'm assuming it's from the 70s. It's a doll that I've been entranced with. I don't know why. It made me buy it, and I have it here. So to hear that is making me, you just made me smile in ways. I cannot wait to share that with my wife. You just made me very happy. Thank you for that.
You're welcome. Anything.
Great. Thank you too. Now, if I ever go to your house, Lord Byron, I'm going to be very self-conscious about I went in the bathroom, hear the creaking. I thought that was the floor.
No,
that's usually
if I run out of toilet paper, it wasn't me.
Yeah, and I mean, it's the perfect house for it. I mean, this is a house that was built 100 years ago. It actually, it officially wasn't built until 1925, but there was a party here on New Year's Day, 1924. So the house was here before the legal paperwork went in. You know? It has a full basement downstairs. It has a double attic upstairs. I mean, it's the perfect place, you know, for that. So we were talking about Ben Rock earlier from the Blair Witch Project. He lives in California now, but he got to see the house. I don't remember whether it was before he moved or whether he was on a trip. And he came over and he walked down to my basement and he went, dude, I want to shoot a movie here. And I went, oh, sure, Ben. He went, no, you don't understand. Holy shit. I want to film it. Oh, I said it again.
Sorry. Someone get the censor beep. Someone get
holy
it.
Poop, YouTube. Holy poop.
Oh, we don't have the budget for that.
And because he saw it, it just was like, yeah, this is amazing. So it's the perfect cliche house for a haunting, and yet Minerva is gentle and lovely. And as I said, we visit her once a year. You know, we would go more often. I mean, it's near here. They have the whole plot. But it's just we can't get the time, you know. But we always make it a point, at least once a year, to bring flowers to her, to George, to the whole family. We have pictures of her in the house that the family has given us because her family still lives here. Not in our house. That would be kind of awkward. But in the house right across the way is the descendants of her sister. So they actually see her. They know her. I never even had to ask. I kind of said, when I met them, I said, hey, listen, about my house. And the woman said, Aunt Murdy, yes, we know. They knew all the history. So, I mean, why would she leave? You know, she has this place that she loved. It was built for her and her husband, George. She's got her family still.
She has something hidden in the attic.
Yeah. Oh, I love to hear that. That makes me happy. And actually, I will never search for it because I want her to have it. I want her to have it. You know, we've had people who have said, can we do a seance in your house? And I said, no. Could we do this in the house? I say, no. Would you do that?
No,
to
you'll invoke something else that's actually she's actually protecting something. So
I love that. Yeah. We don't want her to feel uncomfortable. We want her to feel welcome. Way past us. When we first bought the house, the photographer did a big photo shoot in the house because they love the house, and they said, you don't own this house. She owns it. She's letting you stay here. And we were like, oh, you know, that just touched us. And that's how I always approach it. So in a 15-minute answer, Christian, yes, I believe in ghosts.
I just had this image. I'm going to the bathroom, standing up, doing my business. I hear a little girl laughing. I'm running out of that bathroom with my pants down. It's not going to happen.
You know I'm going to take a little doll and put it in the bathroom now.
I know. Right on top of the toilet out there.
I love it.
Well, let me just change gears, folks, because I had a lot of videos. I think we're going down to one. But no. That's just I want to show
this
folks.
This would have been a cool Halloween Day episode.
No, well, I'm going to fast forward to Christmas because there's a very special episode that you guys did, and you were talking about the 13th Doctor, the female Doctor. So there's a little mention in this. So I will go ahead and play the following. First off, you will see them reading something special, a gift from the Doctor, as well as a special gift that Lord Byron and Lady Simone Cimarine did for me, and I was man, you probably didn't see me at all, but my heart was just pounding like crazy, and I saw that and I was like, God, thank you guys, I really appreciate that. So without further ado, here is a scene from Phantasmagoria, and you can see it again. They have Christmas and Halloween. If you want to do a search, you can just go on YouTube, just type in Phantasmagoria Traveling TARDIS, you'll be able to find it. But here we go.
We all have our gift.
We all have a gift. Mercury, why don't you come sit center and we will see what this present is. There you go.
My dearest Phantasmagoria, Christian Basil, and all those watching across the universe, I hope I was able to bring you all a bit of joy and merriment this evening, as you do for me whenever our paths cross. Yes.
It's no secret that our universe is in flux, and that the last few years have been some of the most difficult any of us could have ever imagined. But change is inevitable, and I must change with it. In fact, when you next meet me, I may not even at first glance be the same person you've all grown to know.
But no matter what change may come, or what should befall us, know that I will always hold you in the highest esteem. We need stories more than ever now.
With that in mind, this last story is one of my favorites this time of year. An oldie but a goodie, you could say. I give it to you, Phantasmagoria, our friends at the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. And all those watching at home, I hope it brings you all great cheer. Happy holidays and a Merry Christmas. The Doctor.
Let's see what this is. Oh, no, come. Yes, that's what we do, definitely.
Oh, sing that.
A visit from St. Nicholas, more commonly known as
The Night Before Christmas.
Attributed to Clement Clark Moore.
It was the night before Christmas, when all through the house, not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. The stockings were hung by the chimney with care, in hopes that St. Nicholas soon would be there.
The children were nestled all snug in their beds, while visions of sugar plums danced in their heads. And Mama, in her kerchief and I in my cap, had just settled our brains for a long winter's nap.
When out on the lawn there arose such a clatter, I sprang from the bed to see what was the matter. Away to the window I flew like a flash, tore open the shutters and threw up the sash.
The moon on the breast of the New Holland snow gave the luster of midday to objects below. When, what to my wandering eye should appear, but a miniature sleigh and 8 tiny reindeer.
With a little old driver so lively and quick, I knew in a moment.
It must be Saint Nick.
More rapid than eagles, his coursers they came, and he whistled and shouted and called them by name.
Now Dasher, now Dancer, now Prancer and Vixen, on Comet, on Cupid, on Donder and Blitzen.
To the top of the pot, to the top of the wall.
Now dash away, dash away, dash away all.
As dry leaves that before the wild hurricane fly, when they meet with an obstacle, mount to the sky. So up to the housetop the coursers they flew, with a sleigh full of toys, and St. Nicholas too. And then, in a twinkling, I heard on the roof the prancing and pawing of each little hoof. As I drew in my head and was turning around, down the chimney St. Nicholas came with a bound. He was dressed all in fur from his head to his foot.
And his clothes were all tarnished with ashes and soot.
A bundle of toys he had flung on his back.
And he looked like a peddler, just opening his pack.
His eyes, how they twinkled, his dimples, how merry. His cheeks were like roses, his nose like a cherry. His droll little mouth was drawn up like a bow, and the beard of his chin was as white as the snow.
The stump of a pipe he held tight in his teeth, and the smoke encircled his head like a wreath.
He had a broad face and a little round belly that shook when he laughed like a bowl full of jelly.
He was chubby and plump, a right jolly old elf, and I laughed when I saw him in spite of myself.
A wink of his eye and a twist of his head soon gave me to know I had nothing to dread.
He spoke not a word, but went straight to his work, and filled all the stockings, then turned with a jerk.
And laying his finger side of his nose, and giving a nod up the chimney he rose.
He sprang to his sleigh, to his team gave a whistle,
and away they all flew like the down of a thistle.
But I heard him exclaim, ere he drove out of sight, Happy Christmas to all, and to all a good night. Oh, bravo. Thank you, Doctor. Wherever you are, you truly were here in this home tonight. And now we do have one last surprise.
Oh.
Cimarine, why don't you go outside and do the preparations for the surprise that
Send all the good and fingers crossed and toes crossed, darling.
Toes crossed, no falling.
Mad.
Mad indeed. Oh, here we go. A little fire dancing.
It's about to get a little warmer out here.
Yes. This is especially for you, Christian. The music, by the way, is the wonderful music of Mayu. M-Y-U-U. Oh, look this wonderful artist up. We've been dancing to his music for quite a while now.
What's amazing is watching the steam come off of them.
Science.
Yes. Something much needed today, Hawthorne. Thank you, Carl. Thank you, Keith. Donna. Ramona. I love it. Thank you, Rachel. And all in the rain, because it's actually raining right now. Oh, thank you, Rafe. Yes, I said Rafe. Hello, Troy. Sophie, thank you. Ha! Ha ha! Oh, yes, Mayu. Thank you, Tom. Andrew. Oh, Mark, thank you. Oh, Hansine, Johnny Bronto, you know we love you.
I never said this about another man's wife, but your wife can stop traffic.
Quite literally.
I was just watching, and just people are like, "What?" Huh?
Yeah, I remember that night. It was. She was performing in the rain out there. The poor
Oh my
child.
goodness!
Yes, I remember that. Yes. Bravo.
Yes, absolutely, bravo. And that's just a sample of all the stuff that you can see not only here at the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS with everything that Phantasmagoria has done, but you can also check out. Let's put it back in. Hang on. Let me put it back into the chat. For those of you who want to check out Phantasmagoria for yourself, don't forget they have the listings of their appearances, where they're going to be. And I just need to put it there. We go. I'm just putting it all in the chat.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, for now, I'll throw it up on the screen, and then while you're typing.
Yeah, this
makes
is
it
our-
easier. Phantasmagoriaorlando.com.
This looks pretty.
It's a collection of Victorian ghost stories set at Christmas. To keep with that tradition of telling ghost stories on the eve of the holiday. We also have 2 original stories, including a new all-original Krampus tale, which is going to be quite frightening. Yeah, we have some of these are really. We have 2 stories here that are probably 2 of the most frightening we've told in a number of years for Christmas. Of course, happy holidays. Let's scare you. And it's actually, we have one very poignant one. It's really interesting watching the troupe itself, just like with the one in the last show I mentioned, we can't get through reading it and rehearsing it without someone crying. So that tells me it's going to hopefully touch the audience, when we do the works. And this will be the last year we do this format. Next year, because we like to shake things up for ourselves. So next year, the Christmas tour is going to be something completely different from this. So we're looking forward to that as well.
Interesting.
And happy holidays, let's scare you. I think that's a Home Depot quote.
Hell yes, it is. Yes, it's Publix actually. Yes,
It's Publix.
Those wonderful commercials. Yes.
Yeah.
Grandma comes out with a knife now. It's fascinating.
I just remember, what was it? Somebody had mentioned that the candy at CVS was already 75% off 3 days before Halloween. They already had their Christmas stuff up, and I say, if you really think that's crazy, Walgreens already has their stuff up for Valentine's Day.
Amazon has 8 to 10 pound turkey for $3 and something cents right now. 75% made it with 75% off, meaning that's how cheap it is.
That's a good price.
And the 16-pound one is like $7.
I'm really hoping, I'm going to keep an eye on it. I'll post it out there, but normally Publix has something like the turkey for less than $1 a pound.
Yeah,
this is actually $3 for the whole thing. I was like,
$3 for the whole thing. Oh, okay. Well, then,
yeah,
you got me.
it's on Amazon. It's. I was like shocked. Someone sent it to me. I was like, it's a joke, right?
No, it's a turkey neck. That's all.
No, it's an actual turkey.
Dave, you got something coming up?
Well, I've got a box I can open here. We've got next week. We got our foodie episode. So there may be turkeys there. There may be cookies there. There may be, who knows what's going to be there. I don't even know. It's going to be a blast. We've done it the last few years, either for American or sometimes Canadian Thanksgiving if the timing had worked better. But we do it a little bit ahead of the day in case you like any of the recipes and go, oh, that would be really nice for my dinner, or my gathering.
Lord Byron, have you seen our foodie special? It's
no, but now I'm hungry, so I'm gonna have to.
Oh yes,
it's essentially, we will take a recipe and then we will geek it out a little bit out there, and it's people who either they'll show their final product or, like Dave, he'll actually make it on camera.
Oh, I love this. Oh yes.
And I'm down a stove, so I might have the cookbooks here. If you guys want a recipe, we can pick a page and say that recipe.
And because it's our kitchen, it's our online kitchen. Kitchen Killers will perform 2 songs for us during our little feast. But I think the one year we went completely insane because Jessica made Centaur balls, and guess what? We couldn't get off the B word. That's insane. It's like, oh, we're only gonna be in here for an hour. Next 3 hours, we're trying to cook something.
I love Billy and I love the Kitchen Killers, so that's gonna be fun. That's gonna be fun.
So, Lord Byron, what would you have done if this wasn't your thing? Like, would this have been something, looking back on it? Would you have told your younger self, like, you're going to be doing this, or would you have an alternate timeline of being something else?
I don't, I've done theater for pretty much my whole life. For 40 years, I've done theater. So I think it still would have been something in theater. But Phantasmagoria certainly has taken over my entire life. It combines all my loves as a child. So, it's got the whimsical stuff that comes from the Beatles and all that stuff. It's got the horror that comes from the Hammer horror movies and the love of horror literature. And so it's the combination of everything I've ever been in my whole life. I have to be honest with you. If I wasn't doing Phantasmagoria, I would still be doing theater. I still do theater. I still do, a lot of shows out there that have nothing to do with Phantasmagoria. But in terms of what I produce and what I write and what I do, it's this. This is what I do. I have a film that's out there being done right now by Mario von Peebles. Who knew I was going to write a screenplay about a civil rights activist? So I wrote a screenplay, and Mario von Peebles was the main collaborator on that. Walter T. Shaw, amazing man, was the producer. There's this guy who called me 4.5 years ago and said, "Hey, I'd like you to write a script for me." And just like that, as a matter of fact. And he's become Uncle Walter. I absolutely adore him. We still speak every day or at least every week now. So I've got all these other things that are happening, but Phantasmagoria, that's my passion. That's my heart. I hope to do it for a very long time. My tombstone, not to get morbid, but our philosophy with Phantasmagoria is once a story has been chosen, it must be told. Once a story has begun, it must be finished. And on my tombstone, I told everybody I wanted to say, once a story has begun, it must be finished. So that will be, I hope to be doing this for a long time. Yes. Yeah.
So what's better, back in Brooklyn or down in Florida?
Oh my. Look, let me tell you, I miss Brooklyn, okay? I do miss Brooklyn. I go up, I visit. Yeah, it's kind of weird hearing that voice coming out of this, right? But
not anymore.
No, because I'm thinking because I stutter. Can the show and the troupe come to New York Comic-Con or any of the other places?
Well, we have a troupe that performs our work. They're not really Phantasmagoria. They're allowed to use the term in the style of Phantasmagoria. That performs in Syracuse, New York. So they've just finished their second of one of our shows, and they've asked for one for Valentine's Day, actually, because we have done Valentine's Day shows. So I think they're going to be doing that. You know, we hope to come to New York, especially, like I said, if this... Everything seems to be full steam ahead with this wonderful estate and trust. And if it does happen, we will be looking to extend that show for a long period of time. So, yes, I bet you we do come to New York with it. You know,
I'd love to see you guys on Broadway.
Yeah, we've been as close as God, it was year 6. We had a producer, an off-Broadway producer, who wanted to do a 3-week run of the show up there. It fell apart. It didn't happen, but the fact that the interest was there was absolutely wonderful. You know, some of the people I'm working with, like I mentioned, Walter T. Shaw, he has produced shows on Broadway. You know, Mario's dad did a lot of Broadway, Melvin Von Peebles. But so I'm hoping one day, yes. I do know that we're likely, if this happens, to return to Baltimore in this next year, because we used to go to Baltimore every year. We have a wonderful person up there who supports us greatly, who runs one of the largest theaters in Baltimore. And so we hope to go back up there. We'll see. Fingers crossed with all those plans.
Quote the Raven, forget about it.
Yes.
You know what Byron was mentioning.
We'll get him a cup of coffee.
Byron was mentioning that one of his favorite doctor is the Peter Cushing, and it's like, can we address him as the War Doctor? He did blow up Alderaan.
Yeah, there you go.
Already.
That's what happened during the time war. You may fire when ready. You know.
Dave, if you want to take over, Lord Byron, you're more than welcome to stay, but we want to thank you so much again. Let me go ahead and put up the dates for their appearances coming up, and if you're in the Central Florida area, you cannot miss them whatsoever.
With some of our wonderful members, that's Catriona and Iphigene and Cimmerine and Pandora. So the lovely lady on the bottom of the picture, she has been with us for all 15 years.
Wow.
She started with us at the age of 11.
Wow.
Cimmerine has also been with us for all 15 years. Yes.
So what's the youngest age that can be part of the troupe and everything?
We have had 6-year-olds in the troupe. Currently we have a number of children in the troupe. We have Ivy, who is 11. We have her sister, who is 14, Amethyst. We just finished a show with a young man who did his first show with us. His name was Theodore, character's name, Theodore, and he was 12. So, yes, depending on the stories that we're telling, you know, we definitely bring children into it. It's stories that are good for all ages, but we do warn parents, you know, there are frightening tales here, just, you know, for the audience. But no, we've had, so 6 years old was the youngest that's ever been on stage with us, I believe. Yeah.
That is cool.
Righty.
I am sad that we couldn't do this before Halloween, so that I could have done this from my set.
Oh, I love it.
Nice.
With Dracula, so I did a couple of shows from this, and this is only part of the set. This is just the half of the castle. It was a huge show, and it was amazing. And
that was gorgeous, my friend. I love it. I love it. Bravo. Well, Christian and everybody, thank you so much, all of you. I mean, you've been wonderful. I am going to disappear into the void now, as they say, meaning I'm going to de-Byron myself at the moment.
And give Anthony a hug. You kept her up, she said.
Yes, I will. And I will say hi to Lady Cimmerine as well. But you got to see Lady Cimmerine dancing when she comes home. But Christian, thank you so much for all of this.
No, thank you for coming on, and this is wonderful of every year. And please always come back every year, and we'll do something special. Let's do this.
I will. All right, my friends. I think I just hit leave studio.
Yes.
I'm going to try that. And I'll go poof. Here we go. And Mark Muncy, wherever you are, I love you. And farewell, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
See you at MegaCon.
Dave, I got to run if you want to end the show for me, but I wanted to address one more thing. I put it in the chats. For those of you who are in Saturday, December 21st from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. at the Oviedo Mall. This is hopefully the return of the convention's called the Fellowship of the Fandoms, a Christmas fandom convention. It's going to have three different entities, I guess for a better term, that are going to be the heads of the program. One is going to be the Lord of the Rings. The next one will be Harry Potter. And this is the convention that's going to be bringing back Doctor Who. So it is it'll be a free entrance over there, totally free, in the Oviedo Mall. Just come out Saturday, December 21st, 2024 at 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. And the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS will be joining up with DALEKHAL again. So Hal will be invading the Oviedo Mall, and you can get pictures with him and the Traveling TARDIS. And that, I guess, is it. In the description is the event. Please do sign up, and we will see you. Well, I'll see you next time, but Dave's going to be taking over. So, Dave, take it away. Thank you so much, my friend.
Woo! All right, we don't have Lord Byron. We can take off the fancy vest. I love the fancy vest. Woo! Welcome back.
That was a show.
Yes, that was a show. Sean, we were talking before. You were like, I don't know what to expect. I don't know what. No one knows what to expect, my friend. This was what this kind of show is. This is a relax and hang out. Did you have fun?
I did. I have to ask you: are we still on the air?
We are in fact still on the air. I'm going to be doing a box opening here. If you want to leave, you can. You don't have to.
No,
I like the box opening.
I wasn't going to say any rude words or anything. I was just wondering.
Totally valid.
Yeah, I'll stick around.
And he crossed out his address and everything, so that's
good. Yes, Christian. We will always make fun of Christian for box opening with an address on it. It's just the fun way you have to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So I know what's in this box more or less. But it showed up about 2 hours after I left the city a while back. So that's a little annoying, let me tell you. Can I do that? Will that work better?
I thought you had it. You had it.
Yeah, I was trying to not hide under the logo this time.
Where did Sean go?
Sean is still in the show. He's just not on that screen. So we're just going to put it back to that. I can put it back to this. Can I make that work? Nope. That's okay. Nope, that just makes me disappear. I've got all these funky stuff that.
There we go.
Here we go. That'll work. There we go. I can make that work.
There we go.
I can make that work. It also just cut things off for me. Hold on for a second. There we go. Now I can see things. So yes, I know what's in this box more or less. It showed up just after I left for the Western Canadian Quad Ball Championships, which we won. Yay! So I've been gone for a week and a bit now, so I haven't got to open it. All I did was split the tape just to make life easier.
It's bears.
It's hedgehog.
Wait. Oh, okay.
This is the deluxe edition of Park Life. So this is not just a stuffed animal. This is
no way
the box. In fact, if you look back here, I have showed this is the prototype version right here that I had shown off on the air previously. And I have played Park Life's the solo mode, or one of the solo modes for Park Life on my channel, youtube.com/TheRatHole.ca. And I will probably play this new version as well, because this I have one specific deck. This I will end up with a different. There's more than that in this. So I've got all sorts of fun stuff in here. He was very gracious to send me all of the big stuff. So this is the human version. They're slightly different decks, but not entirely. And then there's the hedgehog version. And then there is the expansion. And I think that this is the expansion that is actually not yet out. I think that expansion hits Kickstarter in a week or two. So if you keep an eye on my channel or look up Park Life on Kickstarter, you might find this page. I'll see if I can. I'll check it out in a minute and see if I can find it. But yeah, so we've got these two different versions and the bag will actually fit one of these, I think, without the box. Whereas the new expansion or the new Kickstarter will have a larger version that will actually fit these deluxe boxes in it, which is super awesome. But it's so adorable. They turned out so good, like pretty close to the original prototype. So let's pop this open. This is the human version. And the theory of this game is that you are a vendor in a park. And so you're trying to make a living in the park. And it's
Oh,
a
like
trick
Bryant
taking
Park
game.
here.
Yeah. So there we go. So you got a smaller deck box in there, which totally will fit in there. You've got some tokens. You got some little berries. You got a little
Looks like a
school
bus.
in there. Yeah, little school bus there.
Okay.
The instructions. I get some stickers. I try not to rip stuff when I do it. So there's stickers of a bunch of the character art.
The umbrella reminds me of the salt shaker, the one with the girl holding the umbrella.
That one?
Almost like that, yeah. Or the little boy too, the one where it's like the way that, yeah.
And there's some extra cards in here as well. Again, I haven't looked to see what it is all in here. These are specific cards. I think these are wild. Yeah, these are some wild cards and some extra cards that were unlocked through the Kickstarter. The different suits are different types of weather in this.
Oh.
So, for example, if it's raining, you're going to sell more umbrellas. If it's a windy day, you're going to sell more kites. If it's really warm out,
ice cream.
If it's cold out, warm drinks.
Mm-hmm.
If it's cloudy and dark, you might have a lantern. So there's some neat stuff in there. And then let's open up the actual thing here. I can see the
Note to self: they gotta do a pull tab. Like unwrapping.
It has one. That's what I'm actually looking for. Yep, there it is.
Oh.
It does actually have a pull tab. I just couldn't quite see it.
That's a smart designer.
Yeah. And so here's some a couple more. Another sticker. We've got first player marker. Clearly gets replaced with that, I assume. There's some rules, cheat sheets, and you got your different cards with the different art. And it is a trick-taking game with certain.
So are they more like replacing the diamond, spade, and
sort of, yeah.
Cards?
Yeah, very similar.
Okay.
So like here the wild cards that originally came were 0. They've come out with the new 7s that were in those extras. And there is slightly different rules between the people version and the hedgehog version. I know that because I remember that, not because I know what it is off the top of my head. But let's just slide this off, and we can take a look at the Hedgehog edition, which again it is more or less the same. They may have actually balanced out in the by the end of the Kickstarter. It ran while I was very busy, so I previewed it, but I don't remember everything. So again, here's some stickers again with the art. There we go. Absolutely adorable little hedgehog art. Little mouse in the teacup.
Interesting.
Yeah. Koalas. I
Koala with a teacup.
That was a capybara, but I don't remember.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly. And then again, these are the extra cards that would have come out.
So it is almost like they're replacing the hearts, the diamonds, the spades,
Yeah.
and the...
But it's 5 suits rather than only 4.
Okay.
But it's a similar idea, yes. And then again, we'll find the pull tab on here. Yeah, my lighting down here is mediocre. / my eyesight mediocre.
Don't feel bad.
Yeah. Here's your tokens in this one. So you get a little double-decker bus, some caterpillars.
So the other one is got a school bus from the United States. That one has a British bus, huh?
Yeah.
So we got a British hedgehog.
Yeah. And so there's your first player card. rules cards. So yeah, and these are the these have been replaced with tokens as well. And there's your adorable hedgehog art. So I unfortunately tonight have a production meeting for another show that I'm doing lighting design for. So once I get off here, I will be heading out to that. So I won't get a chance to, I probably won't get a chance to play this today on my channel, but I do definitely want to go back through these, find the finalized solo rules.
What's different from the starter one versus
exactly, because they were doing a few things in here. Let's open up before we go the expansion. So this is just very small. It's 5 mini expansions. You have storms to add more chaos, new Trump rules, a map. You can mix and match these expansions. I am 99% certain that this is, in fact, the expansion that's hitting Kickstarter. There's a new... It's a hedgehog book.
It reminds me of Cat Bus from Studio Ghibli.
Yeah, there we go.
That's Cat Bus.
Cat Bus. So yeah, there was a couple more stickers. There's your instructions. And yeah, so these are expansion stuff that you can mix in to change out the rules a fair bit. I give up. Boop. So there's your first player marker with Cat Bus. So that's going to be changing how you do the wild. See, so there's your 5 suits.
Okay.
Right, the different weather types. And if I remember correctly, this is a map. I think is the map that you're moving things around to change how the Trump works. Most of the cards only go up to 8 or up to 7. So here's some 8s, which are adorable. What the heck is this? Oh, so the winner of this particular sale or trick, winner of the sale draws a card instead of winning points.
Okay.
That's interesting. Everyone else wins the sale, so if you win, you lose. some extra things that just kind of throw some extra chaos into the
idea of the game.
So this honestly, Charming Games Collective is very much about getting their games into people's hands as much as anything. They often will, again, I have not seen, I know that the Kickstarter page for this is up, and I will hunt for it here in a quick moment. But they often will have a pay what you can level. They really want people to be able to have it. There are print and play versions that are out there for very cheap. They just did a Doomcat one, which included also like big plushy weird cats.
Like plushie this big or plushie this big?
I think they were fairly large.
Oh god.
Yeah, exactly, right? It's not the search is gonna work. No, I don't want your freaking survey. I'm just over on the Kickstarter page trying to find it here.
Nico Bat says cute hedgehogs.
Yeah, thank you. I'm not able to see that side. Thank you. They so are. Okay, here's an older one. This is Chomp. This is one of their older ones. Let me just find. Get me to the. Oh, I want. Well, I'm trying to get the. There we go. Page. Oh, this is not the right one. This is totally not the right one. That's weird. All right. Well, I can't find it right off the top of my head, but there is a. He said there's a Kickstarter. I know the landing page exists as of I think earlier today for the Storm expansion of Park Life. We've got the Deluxe Hedgehog Edition. You've got the People Edition. Like I said, the new version will include a bigger hedgehog plushie. Super excited for that. Doomcat, I think you can probably late. It might not be on Kickstarter. It might be on BackerKit. Let's just do it this way. That might be what I did. I did back Doomcat, but I haven't had.
By Dylan Cole.
Yep.
Yeah, they're huge.
Yes. Okay. There we go.
I just found it, and I'm like, okay, interesting.
There we go. Yeah, it looks like it's on backer
It
kit.
says, "Beware the Cat of Doom."
This
This is
so much
interesting.
fun. Yeah, and Dylan is such a wonderful human being. Like I'm
Out of stock.
Yeah, well, that's it because it is that campaign just closed.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not that it's out of stock; it's that it doesn't quite exist yet.
Is that a Cthulhu cat?
That there is, I think, one. Yes.
Yeah. This needs to be at Comic-Con. This needs to be somewhere.
He has been, yeah. So Doomcat, I go to charming.games, www.charming.games.
There's a star cat and a kaiju kitten.
Yeah, they changed the design on the kaiju one, and it's much nicer. So there, I've just put into the comments section the website there, www.charminggames. That gives you all of the previous games as well, including Doomcat. Park Life Storm Expansion.
Mm-hmm.
Which might
that would be something.
It is on backer kit. So let's just go over here, and we will go here, and we will go here. And I promise not to take too long in all of this for everybody, but we're gonna go. Is that the one I need? Yes, the one I need. Share. So yes, launching in 5 days and 15 hours and 16 minutes is the
wait
the new one. So this should be the Storm one.
Let me see your hedgehogs.
Again, this is not the same hedgehog. This is gonna be the bigger hedgehog.
Okay, that's what I'm trying to see.
Yeah, so the previous hedgehog is
No. Yours has a nose.
Yes.
They don't. Look at the picture.
Pop back to the other. Yes, this one is just stitched in, it looks like.
Okay, it looks like it didn't have the three-dimensional nose. That's cute.
It doesn't. It's is that the button I want? That's not the one. There, I find it. I'll just hide behind the thing. Actually, here, let's do this. That works. So yeah, no, mine has the three-dimensional nose, whereas the new one doesn't. But again, this one that I have will hold one of like a deck box, whereas the new one is big enough to hold a full-sized box. So that's quite a size difference on the new ones here.
You can see the shape too and everything. Yeah,
exactly. Still adorable.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you can get either of the current editions, the bigger hedgehog,
the cat bus.
Yeah, cat bus. So yeah, it still seems like it's the wrong campaign there, but I could just be wrong but yeah, you've got all sorts of stuff at charming.games. You can see all of their crowdfunding stuff. Otter coming soon. So this is like the next one.
Aww.
Right?
That looks like the Asian artist, the way they did it and everything.
Yeah. Dylan is white but lives in China right now.
Okay.
He is American, but so yeah, he's got easy access to some of those artists. There's rules on here, homepage, Storm Expansion. Yeah, I think that's just so yeah, if you just go to charming.games, you can sign up for the to be notified when it goes live in just under a week. You can check out there's late pledges for Doomcat available. Licensed to Krill, that's an older game. Looks like can you tell he likes his plushies?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, he does. Especially that Cthulhu one was interesting.
Yeah, I love all of the Doomcat stuff are great. Let me just see if I can bring up there's you can see it on the video there. Yeah, I don't know how long the video is. Thinking. 45 seconds.
Oh, 45 seconds.
You are a witch. You must protect the world from doom. So, roll the dice. Draw the sigils. But beware, your cat wants to see the world burn. Oh, Doom Cats are rolling right game. Print and play now. Unlimited players. Endlessly replayable.
That looks so
Cascading
cool.
combos. Box sets available. And plushies too. Back Doom Cat now.
So yeah, I like I said, I have the print and play edition of that rather than the physical one. I just haven't had a chance to get to looking at it or downloading it at all.
Which plushie would be yours?
Oh, Kaiju for sure. Really, all three. But you've got Cthulhu, which would totally fit in with the rest of my Cthulhu stuff.
Star Cat
and Kaiju Kitten. You can get all of them. The
Now
gift
that's
set.
a good price.
Yep, yeah. Gift set for the cat lover in your life or yourself. But yeah, that's great stuff. These guys are absolutely fabulous in here. You get dry erase cards.
See, now that's smart.
Right? So I'm going to definitely plan to play this soonish. So as part of my, when Park Life goes live, I'll probably play this as well as some Park Life.
Wow.
Yeah, so there's all sorts of look at all these stretch rolls that just got unlocked.
Damn.
Yeah, exactly, right? So there's all sorts of fun
how to
stuff.
unlock too, even in that. Okay.
Well, like I said, this is already closed. So but I think they unlocked absolutely basically everything.
Yep.
I think. But yeah, then shipping is reasonable. Is beyond reasonable, quite frankly.
Which is another set too. So it's the 3 plushies, Park Life, and you get those.
Yeah, that was the gift set.
No, there's another one. You get the Park Life bundle. It's one Doom Cat, one the plushies, and Park Life.
Yeah.
So they give you the game too. That's not bad.
Yeah. So there's all sorts of stuff in there that you can get. So yeah, definitely check this out if you have the opportunity. And let's just pop that out there. So yeah, but that's what I got in the mail. So I wanted to show that off because I know I had shown off the original previously, and I know people had asked to see it when I got the real one. So there we go. Yes.
Yeah, I have a few things that aren't unboxed here because until my channel gets back in order and everything.
Yeah.
And stuff. But yeah, right now they're all sitting over there. There's things from G Fuel. There's things from Crunchyroll. Right now, Crunchyroll has not been too good with certain things and stuff right now, as I plead the fifth because of connections.
Yeah.
But otherwise, there's a few things that will be displayed soon and everything and stuff once everything because I miss doing what you do.
And I've got I did that Advent calendar. I'm not saying I have a couple more back here for Christmas, but hi.
Yep.
So I've got some plans for that coming up. I'm supposed to be getting a box from Smirk and Dagger, I hope, if everything goes according to plan. A couple of my packages that it was supposed to be working on getting just kind of evaporated out of logistical issues. So that's unfortunate, but whatever, we'll make it work.
Now the foodie episode, are you tying it into your gaming or not tying it into your gaming?
No. Yes. I've got a couple of things going. One of them will in fact be so this is Cozy Companion. I've done recipes from this and Tea Time Adventures. If you see, there's some shorts on my channel. This is last year's Christmas issue. I'm not doing the recipe from this one. I'm doing the recipe from this coming December's. So the one that doesn't exist yet.
Ooh, nice.
Doing their new recipe next week.
No, like I said, I'm down a stove, and my parents will not let me experiment in their kitchen. So I do have a few geeky cookbooks and a few other ones that, in case for copyright, we'll put something over them or something. But we could probably say pick a page, and that'll be somebody's
We'll
meal
figure it out.
or drink or whatever. Like we'll find the one with drinks in it and everything. We'll just say that somebody could try to make that, and we'll just read them the recipe.
Mm-hmm. I do have another plan that I just have to kind of work out that was popped up today. So, but yeah, so we'll definitely we'll be doing that next
But
week.
if they do let me experiment, let's see what happens.
Exactly. We'll see what's going on. Sean, thank you for sticking around to take a look.
You're too quiet.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Well, you guys, I've just been enjoying it. Like you ever like it's like when you watch people who are doing reaction videos and they get so engrossed in the movie they stop saying things. Like,
yeah, he's totally filming us. We're gonna end up on his channel with a reaction.
Yes, this has all been a front. It's I'm just funneling it to my channel.
Technically, you can, because this does say you can stream it to your own channel too.
Actually, it's true. Yeah, there is a button for that.
He's got to sign up for it.
You're doing it from your phone. I don't know if it comes up on that or not, but we can figure it out.
Yeah,
well, I'm just always happy to be featured here, and you guys, yeah. I'm sorry I haven't been saying much, but I've just been watching you guys, honestly.
I think you were just in awe.
You're wonderful, Sean. Just hype your channel, and before we go and close things out.
Yeah, I will. Thank you so much. So yes, our philosophy is I've been traveling a lot this year, so I haven't been posting as much. So like, I hope I haven't been just like infuriating people with that. But like, I've got a back catalog of like 1 billion videos that I just haven't posted yet. But when the Doctor Who Christmas special comes out, I mean, for Doctor Who, that's the one thing that I always like try to post things on time for is when Doctor Who is coming out, or at least be up on and recording the videos so I have them at least out by the time the next season comes out. But I mean, the Christmas special is going to be coming out, and like honestly, kind of forgot about it. I live in the United States, so I'll just let you guess what made me forget that in recent events. But anyway, that's going to be coming out.
V for Vendetta, yes.
Yeah.
I will.
Idiocracy.
I'll try to have that video out around that time. And what's the name of that upcoming episode again? The Christmas special.
Joy to the World.
Okay, and we got Steve back writing, right?
I believe so.
Okay. Yeah. Well, wouldn't miss it for the world. But yes, you can check me out on Our Philosophy Is. And you can see my Doctor Who thoughts. They are, just as a warning, they are all over the place. But
No, all over the. Maybe you haven't noticed this. All over the place is kind of what we do.
Yeah. You guys make me feel at home. So.
There you go. Gadget, what have you got coming up?
Trying to figure out what I'm going to do for the holidays. As you know, it's a trying time, like Christian said, with everybody. It sometimes could be a very sad or very happy time and everything. So we're going to play it day by day with things here at home and everything. I did, however, find out that these 2 wonderful books are at Walmart right now.
Nice.
And everything. So if you guys check out Walmart, it actually has Copley and my Dungeons and Dragons book. I was shocked. And everything. So that's a new thing that happened in recent events and everything. Other than other crazy stuff that's been going on in my household, which, like I said, guys, even Christian said, if you guys need somebody to talk to, I tell everybody my pages are safe havens and everything. You message me, you whatever, because I know what it's like when you don't have an outlet. And if it wasn't for good friends like Christian, Dave, everybody here at Legend Traveling TARDIS, and all the people in my life that are there for me, I don't know what else, but I do also will say this. I have called those numbers, and it's nothing to be a stigma or afraid of. Call them. They will help you and everything, because sometimes life just gets to the point where if no one's going to listen, they'll listen. All right, guys, don't be afraid. It is okay to call. There's even some, like here where I live in the Bronx, if you go to 311 or the website or anything, there's even another number you can speak to and everything and stuff, guys. Just please promise me, because I know what it's like, and I'm being honest with you. Call, talk to us. If you never have to message us on Facebook, call us, please. All right?
Yeah, definitely. So yes, and as for me, aside from yes, I agree with everything that you just said. You can find me online, youtube.com/TheRatHole DOTCA. I have been doing more on the video stuff than my writing, which is not good. We'll have the foodie episode next week. Week after that is going to be my Christmas gaming episode here on the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. So you can find out some great games. I'm going to be doing a little differently than I have in the past few years, only a little bit differently. So please join us there. And we will always have at TheRatHole.ca. Currently, it's TheRatHole.ca/Christmas. That may change by the end of the month, but that is all of the holiday-related games from the past 7 years of the Rat Hole. So you can check that out as well. Other than that, thank you guys again for joining us here and hanging out while I open some boxes. I need to blow. As I said, I've got another meeting to get.
The cold Canadian wind.
It's true.
Yeah.
So thank you again, and everybody at home. Thank you for hanging around. Until next time, become part of Legend. Tony, take it away.